even maybe this poll was done before the announcement was made, but even before the announcement was made that we're going to get some kind of disclosure, the belief systems of the American public is about 56% saying that they believe in extraterrestrials, whereas, as you can see here, Bigfoot is not doing quite so well. We also have Chupacabra. He's even doing worse, I guess. People say 29% he probably does not exist, 31% he definitely does not exist. That's more of a thing you see in South America, of course. But anyway, so here's what we got. This is, according to YouGov, 56% of Americans say that extraterrestrials definitely exist at 18%, or they probably exist at 38%. That's pretty awesome. That makes extraterrestrials far more plausible in the public mind than either Bigfoot or Chupacabra. They also found that roughly half of Americans believe that these ETs have visited the Earth. In addition, 1/3 say that the UFO sightings are evidence of alien spacecraft, while others attribute them to natural phenomena, secret military technology, or optical illusions. Demographic differences are notable. Younger Americans are generally more likely to believe in extraterrestrials than older people, and men tend to express higher levels of belief than women. And so I think, again, the generation gap is because there's been such a psychological operation to try to make people laugh about this, and younger people weren't exposed to as much of that. They weren't exposed to so many years of ridicule of people like me who are just talking about this stuff. And we still see it with the trolling in the comments. I mean, you know, people think it's okay to be really mean to you and nasty if this is what you believe. And yet it's like, well, come on, it's cool. I think it's something that we deserve to know about. It certainly doesn't make me a grifter. All I'm doing with you guys here is sharing information that I've found on my own through research, and I'm just, you know, wanting to share my passion for the subject. While skepticism remains, the idea that intelligent life exists somewhere beyond the Earth is now a mainstream view in the United States. There you go. It has become mainstream. So we are not fringe anymore. We finally won that battle, and it will be so great once disclosure finally happens. It's going to turn everything around. I'm super, super excited about that. Can't wait for that to happen. And, you know, so I want to keep reading your comments. They were all created by the creator. That's right. That's what Film Wizard just said. I've known about ET since 1956, says Lady FFLL. So, I don't know what we got there. I'm not familiar with that. If people aren't hating you, you're not doing something right. If you're, yeah, okay. So, anyway, it's become a mainstream view. This is the point. So what have our insiders actually revealed? What have they actually told us? Well, we're learning that there's a really, really major amount of build out that, you know, this is not just, you know, Roswell crash happened in 1947. Maybe they built one or two little things. Maybe they've got a couple reverse engineered spacecraft. No, this is a very, very vastly extensive, what they were calling the legacy program. That's the program that has, you know, the UFO back engineering technology that they're talking about in the movie Age of Disclosure. It's very extensive. And they have all kinds of craft. They have thousands and thousands and thousands of craft, and they've already become not just interplanetary in our solar system, but interstellar throughout our galaxy, and possibly they've traveled to other galaxies as well. All of these things become highly relevant and really, you know, changing the game in a very big way. So we got to be aware of how big of a scope this is. And I've been lucky enough, and I really do call it luck, to have found many insiders who were willing to talk back when people still could, showed me their bona fides, showed me their credentials, let me know they were real, and then clued me in on stuff like, you know, why do these Turkish lamps look like little UFOs? Well, it's probably based on UFO sightings. You know, that's why I have that there. It's so extensive that we're hearing that there are bases underground. They have bases under the sea. They have bases on the moon. They have bases on Mars. This is our own people with that technology. Of course they would. Ooh, Sunflower Life just donated $333. And I really, really appreciate that. That's really, really great. Thank you so much. And this is a Joel Goldsmith quote. If you donate $333, you definitely get to have a quote read. In conscious union with God, the mind rests. The human mind is no longer concerned with the problems of today or tomorrow, because the soul's union with God, the conscious realization of God, reveals God as the fulfillment of every need, even before the need is apparent. It's beautiful. I mean, some people don't like the word God, okay, but, you know, thank you for reading that anyway. That's pretty cool. Yes, somebody says, Virgo Queen says, I love your lamps. So think about it. Bases all over the solar system, bases all over, there's apparently 65 different locations around our galaxy, according to Dr. Pete Peterson, where this is located. So are they willing to talk? I've heard no, they don't want to talk. They want to hold out as long as possible. In fact, the only way that they would want to disclose is if there was going to be a nuclear holocaust right before it was going to happen. They would step in and stop it, but not until then. So maybe there are factions in those groups that do want to bring it out. I hope that's true. I think it could be entirely possible. Ed Creeder donated $50. Says he thinks that Above was better than Age of Disclosure. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. But I actually do think Age of Disclosure is a really great film nonetheless. I'm not trying to win a competition or anything. But yeah, so we're going to get into this art in a minute here, but I want to set the stage of how big this stuff is, that they're having routine interactions with extraterrestrials in these programs. They have bases all over the solar system. You work in an underground facility and you're literally going face to face with ETs. It's pretty freaking wild when you think about it.